So recently I've been booking quite a few appointments through cold outreach, through cold email, right? It's simply because of one thing what I've implemented in my business life, okay? And it's simply staying disciplined and motivated, okay? When it comes to business and doing cold outreach, right, it's a very painful process, right? And a lot of people just lose all motivation and discipline when they realise it's not as easy as people make it out to be, or think it's just going to be a little breeze through the park and they could just contact one person, hop on a call, make £1,000 a month, whatever, right? It's not that simple. If you've ever done outreach before, you know how painful it is, right? You know how painful it is to sit there for 8 hours, 10 hours, however many hours a day, right, and just reach out to 100 people or more just in one day, in one sitting, right? You know how painful that is when you don't get a single reply, or you only get very few replies, or people just telling you, no, I am not interested, take me off your email list, right? You know how painful that is if you've ever done outreach, right? And that's why so many people fail their business, because they don't have the discipline to keep at it, right? That's what separates the winners from the losers. The people who are disciplined and stay motivated, right, they're the ones who are going to sign all the clients and actually have a successful business. While the people who reach out to 50 people or 60 people in one day, then miss out for 7 days, then another 40 or 50, right? And they just give up instantly, and that's what makes people fail. That's what makes people losers in the business world. And a lot of the time when it is people who quit after so long, right, they don't have motivation, or they don't have something to drive them forward. They don't have something what they actually want to achieve during their business thing. So a lot of the time, what a good way to actually keep motivated is think about what you're doing this for. Why do you want to make $10,000 a month, $5,000 a month, whatever it is, right? Do you want to help your family be financially free? Do you want to buy a dream car? Do you just not want to work a normal 9-to-5 job, right? That's kind of the thing what motivates people and drives them forward in like dark times, right? When they can't be bothered to do something, they stay disciplined because they're like, right, if I do this hard work now, if I go through all this pain, it'll be a breeze later on. And it's the truth, right? You do all this outreach for days on end, 1,000 people every 10 days or something like that. If you reach out to them, of course you're going to start booking meetings, because that's just how it does, right? And if you're not, you've got something wrong with your email system, alright, and you need to fix that. But there's loads of tutorials on YouTube how to fix it. But like I say, right, you're going to start booking meetings when you stay disciplined and you're doing outreach consistently for days on end and reaching out to hundreds of people, right? You're going to book meetings, and that's the boring part over, right? When you've booked them meetings, that's the boring part over. After that, it's just all fun, right? You realise you're going to have to speak to people, it gets intense, it gets fun, like whatever, right? You realise you've got to do all this hard stuff what makes you a new person. You've got to go on call with some random person you've never met in your life, and you've got to pitch your offer, right? That's not boring, I'll tell you that much, right? It's actually quite hard to do, and you will be scared for your first sales call, right? But that's alright. You don't need to get worried to that part until you've actually booked a call, so just be consistent with the outreach. Like, so recently, yesterday, I booked 3 calls just from outreach into about 70 to 80 people, right? Which three calls in one day is pretty good. It doesn't matter who you are, if you're a beginner or an expert, 3 calls a day is good for a single person doing outreach, right? And that's all because of consistency, right? When you realise that you can actually do something, when you see something's possible, and I've seen that it's possible to actually book meetings and go on calls with people, so it drives me forward, it keeps me motivated, right? One thing I've kind of learned to like be resistant to the pain during outreach is literally just stick some low volume music on. Music what you like. It doesn't have to be some, like, I don't know, monk music or whatever, right? It can just be any music that you like. You don't have to listen to all this shite what people tell you, right? Just listen to what you want, put it on a low volume so you can just hear it and, you know, you can enjoy it, right? Not where you're singing your heart out and stuff, right? And just listen while you're doing the outreach, right? But only do it if you don't have a TikTok brain. If you can't handle it and get off track easily just by singing or scrolling through songs, don't do it. Just learn the art of sitting there and doing outreach until you can actually get to the point where you can listen to music. And the thing is, right, the more you actually do outreach, the more you'll realise that it's not as painful as you think. You'll kind of come immune to the pain, if that makes sense, right? Like, if you do it for 20 days straight, it'll kind of just be in your schedule, right? I've got outreach to do, let's just get it out the way and over with, right? And you'll realise you've just got to do it, and it's not painful because you'll realise eventually you'll get the results you want to see. The pain what you're putting in is going to come out as a result, so it's just going to become less painful and more enjoyable for you to do when you realise you're actually getting results and you can achieve what you want to achieve. So, you know, just sit there and do that outreach, even if it's only 30 to 40 people a day, right? Just do small amounts of outreach at the very minimum, even if it's just 20. Just make sure you've done some form of outreach, right? Because it's better than nothing. Even if it's just a small amount of people, just make sure you're doing it every single day, and eventually it just builds up. You'll start getting replies. Of course, there might not be as many replies as when you reach out to 100 people, but you're still getting 1/5 of the replies, you're still getting 20% reply rate of someone who's doing more outreach. But as you go on, you'll realise, oh shit, this is not painful. I'll up my outreach, I'll up however many hours I'll sit here, and I'll just straight up do it. You know what the thing is, right? I'm seeing all this stuff about staying consistent and stuff, right? But I don't really apply that to my YouTube channel, so I don't want you to think that I'm just bullshitting about this, because I can prove results that I'm booting calls and stuff, but for some reason on YouTube, right, I don't like making videos unless I've actually got something to teach, and I feel like a lot of the things what I know right now I've made into videos, and all I can really do is like bump up them and make more knowledge on them as of now. But when I've actually got proper client results and I can actually teach you a lot of things, so like that's why I'm making outreach videos, because I believe that's something I've learned. I'm booking meetings so I can share that with you. But stuff like deliverability and all that stuff, I haven't mastered that yet. I haven't got close to mastering it, so I kind of want to just get to that point, then I'll start making videos consistently. Of course, from now I am going to start doing videos consistently, like I'll just do live outreach so you can see the process of it, of just sitting there for ages and being really boring. But of course I'll not make it boring, or I'll try not to. I'll speed it up and all that stuff, show you more ways you can do it quicker, how to reach more leads and all that stuff. And I'll just make videos on other things, so like maybe a sales call. I've got a few calls tomorrow and today, so I might record a few sales calls and show you how I go through them, see if you can implement something, or you can tell me how to do it better, because once again, it's not something what I've mastered. Of course I've signed a few clients and I can do sales calls, but it's nowhere near as good as someone like Alex Hormozy or just some other person who sits there and just does sales all day long, right? So that's kind of why I'm making outreach videos for now. You know, it makes sense. If I've got the results, I can obviously make them. If I can tell people how I've achieved something, why don't I share it with the world, share it with you, so you can implement that as well. But before I waffle on too much, that's the end of this video, alright? Please subscribe, I'll be more consistent, I promise you that. See ya.